Welcome to the Teacher's Compass podcast. I'm your host, Louise Schwartz, a former teacher turned life coach, and I'm here to offer guidance, direction, and practical support for teachers and teaching assistants who are feeling overwhelmed or questioning their place in education. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Teacher's Compass podcast. How has your week been? I hope you've had a lovely week in school this week. What have you been up to? Anything interesting? I think it's been Children's Mental Health Week in school this week. Have you done anything particular for that? Anything special? I hope you and the children in your class have been taking care of your mental health and been doing some positive things this week to make you smile. So our episode this week is all about side hustles for teachers. Now, I'm not really massively sure I'm keen on this term side hustle, but essentially it's, in my mind, a side hustle is just other ways of making money than your primary source of income. So if your primary source of income is teaching, then what other ways can you make money on top of that income to either supplement it or eventually, hopefully, to grow it and to have that be more than your main source of income and maybe even lead you to be able to leave the classroom and have that as your main source of income? Wouldn't that be amazing? This is my plan. This is my goal for you. And I really hope that you can take some ideas from today's episode, put them into practice and start your exit plan. So we're going to be diving into the world of side hustles today, thinking of all the different options that you've got in front of you as a teacher, because you've got so much knowledge as a teacher that honestly, you could do any number of these side hustles that we're going to talk about today. The term side hustle suggests that it is, something small. So that's what we need to start thinking about as teachers. What can we do to start small and to have, a little bit of extra money coming in, but then maybe that is something that you could then grow and develop and build to hopefully supplement that teacher income and even completely replace it. So if you've ever thought, I'd love to leave teaching, but I just don't know how to make money, then this episode is one for you. Now, we're going to start talking about digital products. If you've been on social media over the past few years, you will no doubt have seen the amount of people that are now making money from digital products and online courses. And a lot of these people are ultimately just selling the knowledge and the skills that they themselves have got. There are one or two other ways that people do it. We won't go into too much detail about MRR, which is buying a course with master resale rights and then just reselling somebody else's course. I don't necessarily believe in that. I can see how that would work. It's not an honest way of making money to me because you're just reselling somebody else's knowledge instead of actually selling your own. And as teachers, you would not believe the amount of knowledge and skills that you've got that you could sell. I mean, the most obvious one would be to sell the resources that you're creating in your classrooms to other teachers. There's a great website, isn't there, called Teachers Pay Teachers. And if you've ever been on there yourself and purchased a product from another teacher, why not change that, flip it round and do that for yourself? All of these things are things you're creating anyway, so why not share those with others? This was something I started looking into for music curriculum resources. Sadly, the thing I found with some of mine, they were a little bit too niche for the schools that I was working in. They possibly just need to be a little bit more general. But that is such an easy thing to do as a teacher because you're creating the lesson plans and the resources and the worksheets. You're doing those anyway. So why not share them with other teachers, help them save time and share the stuff that you've already been producing? So that would be my most obvious one as a teacher, would be get on Teachers Pay Teachers and share some of the stuff that you've already created. There's other platforms that are similar to Teachers Pay Teachers, things such as Teachable or Kajabi. They are online platforms where you can create a course and then sell that to people that want to learn. It doesn't have to be teacher-based. It doesn't have to be school-related. What other skills and abilities have you got that you could share with other people? If I'm thinking about myself, then obviously I've got music knowledge that I can share. So I could set up, a beginner piano course to tell people how to get started on teaching themselves, give them the basics that they would need to then take that forward and learn how to play the piano or how to read music. Those skills are ones that people want to be able to do. And so you could sell your knowledge and help them to achieve that and make some money in the process. Think about other things that you do on a day-to-day basis. What about classroom management? Your top tips for classroom management, you could put those together in a digital product and share those with other teachers that are wanting to improve their own classroom management. If you've got a great way in your classroom of a reward system, or a point score, or a really great way of delivering something in your classroom that you just think, oh, this is brilliant, I wish more people would be able to do it this way in their classrooms, you could create a digital product, you could create an online course and share that with as many people as you possibly can. Now, digital products is something that I am transitioning into because I really do believe that the future of learning is online. And learning doesn't have to be confined to just children, does it? As adults, we also enjoy learning. I have learned so much over the past 12 months with my dive into the online world of business. It's incredible the amount of things that you can learn online. So think about things that you've got that you can share and you can deliver online that people would want to pay for, people would want to buy. Now, I'm not saying some of these things have to be super duper expensive, but if you created a cheap sort of £7 product that was really valuable to people and everybody got a lot of content out of it and use out of it and practical things that they could do based on your low ticket £7 offer, and then just think how many of those you could sell, you could make a lot of money from just selling those low end cheap items online, but in big numbers. I do know quite a few teachers that I've worked with in the past or I've known through friends of friends that have left the classroom and gone on to do full-time tutoring. I even know one friend, her husband has set up a tutoring agency and now has several other teachers working for him because he's got so much demand for tutoring services. If you were working full-time, you could still allocate one evening a week where you could tutor to make some extra money. You could then think, right, this is actually, working quite well and I've got a bit more demand and I've got some more students that want some time. So then maybe you could expand that into doing 2 evenings. But there's things that you can put in place, even when you're working full time, to just start bringing in a little bit of extra money and sort of drip feed that in and then grow it over time. I started off when I was working full time a few years ago. I'd got 3 piano students that I taught after school on different evenings. But this is something that I am now growing and offering more of. And I've now got 9 piano students across the week, spread out over a couple of hours in an evening. And then I have a lady that comes on a Friday morning. But all of these extra lessons that I've picked up are extra income coming in for me. And I love teaching piano lessons on a one-to-one. I can get so much more out of a student in a one-to-one lesson like that than I can do, obviously, in a classroom full of 30 children. So tutoring could be something that actually you could turn into a full-time business. I read an article of a lady who was doing exactly that. She'd left full-time teaching. She was doing groups of 4 children in an evening for an hour's English lesson, and she'd do a couple of hours each evening and had actually managed to replace her full-time teaching salary by just tutoring for a few hours each evening. So it's definitely possible. And if you start out setting these things up in place whilst you're teaching, then, you can kind of see if there's a market for it and see if there's enough people that are interested and build that up over time. And then hopefully that could be an option for you. If you're wanting to leave the classroom, you could do that as a full-time option. Now, next week, I'm delivering a CPD session for other teachers who are delivering music lessons in school as an educational consultant. So that could be something else you could offer if you've got some really niche skills in education, or you've got some leadership skills, or you've been in doing a Senko role in your school, all of these things you can offer as an educational consultant to deliver to other schools and other trust academy groups and share the knowledge that you've got with others for a fee. So lots of different ways of offering your teaching services, but not necessarily teaching in a classroom. There's also, I honestly do believe that teachers make absolutely amazing coaches, because it's something that we naturally do as teachers. We coach, we encourage, and we help others to develop themselves and improve themselves. And that can be done with adults as well as children. So, life coaching and career coaching and things like that are an obvious step for some teachers that are wanting to leave the classroom. It's exactly what I've done with the Teacher's Compass. I'm helping other teachers that want to leave the classroom and offering a service that I've been through myself and I've experienced it. And I'm just sharing what I've learned along the way to help others make those choices themselves too. Now, I do have a lovely friend who I've known for a long, long time, and she is a curriculum resources creator. So she works for a fantastic company who offer curriculum resources, a lot of grammar resources, English. They also do maths and lots of other subjects within a primary curriculum. And they offer their resources to schools to buy in and to use in their classrooms. And her job role now is using all of that knowledge she's gained from working in the classroom for 20 years, and she's creating those resources, which are then having a huge impact because there's so many children across the country that use this particular curriculum. And so everything that she's writing and developing and creating is being used by hundreds of children, thousands of children across the country. Just think of that impact that she's been able to have as a teacher by stepping away from the classroom but into curriculum creation. It's fantastic. And honestly, being able to have an impact like that and make a difference must be really satisfying. I'm sure it is. Now, I know a lot of teachers love writing and reading and creating resources, but think about how you could get creative with that. What about copywriting or blogging? There are plenty of people that need copywriters, and as teachers with that certain level of sort of English skills, then you could use that to offer copywriting skills. And again, you could do this on a part-time basis whilst you're still working and build up some clients and build up some business and then have that grow into a full-time income. It takes time. These things don't happen immediately. But if you were to start with just something small and maybe a couple of hours a week that you could dedicate to offering a service like that, then you never know, over time you can build that up and it will grow, and you don't know where you're going to be in a few years' time, do you? Now, I've always fancied myself writing a book, and I'm never really sure what I want the book to be about. I've thought about it a lot recently, but I would love to write a book. Is that something that you could do? Could you write children's books? Could you write educational books? Could you write textbooks based on the knowledge that you've got? There are so many different things. And now these don't have to always be printed books. Ebooks are becoming really popular online, as are audiobooks. So there's some scope there for, those writers amongst you that are really keen to share those skills that you've got. Start writing a book. It's not something that you have to say, right, I'm going to get that done this weekend. But if you were to start on that and do a few hours a week and build it up, again, over time, these things could be life changing. Why not start a podcast or a YouTube channel? Share the things that you enjoy doing, or share the things you're good at, share skills that you've got and teach others. Offering these things on YouTube and on podcasts can turn into income streams through brand deals, through sponsorship. There's all sorts of different ways these days to make money online. I think sometimes the children seem to be better at it than us as adults, but I think we need to sort of keep up and catch up because the online world and the world of work is definitely changing. You can feel this shift of your traditional job roles being replaced by more modern, more upbeat online roles. Jump into it quick whilst the opportunity's there. Go for it. Now, I know a lot of teachers are super organised and offering services to help business owners to free up time for them and to do job roles for them actually could be a business in itself. Offering skills to be a virtual assistant, helping people with admin tasks or social media management. All of these job roles are needed by business owners that don't have the time to do that themselves. So, is that something that you could offer? Again, you could do it on a part time basis, offering a couple of hours in an evening once a week and saying, yeah, I can, schedule your social media posts for your business, no problem. All of these things that you could look at starting small and then growing, it could be really exciting. So if you've got a bit of knowledge about social media and you've grown a following yourself, is that something that you could offer to others and be a social media manager? Why not? Drop shipping and e-commerce is a huge industry at the moment. And I know it's something that my children have looked into as an easy way to make money. Now, I'm not sure that's an easy way to make money, but it is definitely a way to make money. So sometimes drop shipping, you don't even need to physically have the products yourself. You could be a middleman and then you're charging customers and clients for the products that you're advertising, but then have a business and a company that deliver those products, create them and ship them for you for a fee, and then you take the profit that is left on top. And again, this is something that you could start really small and build up over time, and then that could, well, replace your teaching income and be your solution to get out of the classroom. Now, there's quite a few different ideas there that you could look into. Think about which ones appeal to you, which ones would be interesting to you. If you're going to create a side business alongside your teaching, it's got to be something that you enjoy, hasn't it? Something you have a passion for, that you want to provide that service or that product to others. Make it fun, make it enjoyable, something for you that you can control, that you are in charge of, and ultimately that's bringing you in some more money. Because who doesn't want a little bit of extra? That could be your holiday fund, to fund your travelling during half term or the summer holidays, bringing in that extra bit of cash. So whatever you decide, I think as a teacher, you'll probably be surprised at the skills that you've got and the knowledge that's inside your head and how you can use that to start a side hustle and create that extra income coming in for you and your family. It's something that I'm working on. And again, like I've said, it's not an instant thing. It takes time. You need to put some time and effort into it, decide who you want to help and what you're going to help with. But all of those ideas, if you can take action on them and give yourself a couple of hours a week where you dedicate that time to your interests, your side business, your side hustle, then you don't know where that's going to lead in a few months, a few years, where that could take you and the options it could throw up for you. And at the very least, it'll just give you a little bit of extra pocket money coming in that you can spend on things that you want. Whatever you decide, I hope that doing something for yourself and setting up that side hustle inspires you to believe in yourself and believe what's possible if you put your mind to it. We teach the children these things all the time, but I think as adults, we forget that it's possible for us too. Get started. Let me know in the comments if you've decided on a side hustle and you think, yep, I'm going to jump into that. Let me know what you're thinking. I'd love to find out what your interests are and where your passions lie. Have a wonderful week this week. It's almost half term. We've got 5 more get-ups. You can definitely do it. Put that smile on your face. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks so much for tuning in to The Teacher's Compass. If you found this episode helpful, click on the link in the show notes for some more resources and support. Don't forget to leave a review on whichever app you choose to listen to us on. Your feedback helps us to reach more teachers just like you. See you next time.